I really need an ice cream right now. All I want is a chocolate cookie, or maybe 2, or let's say 10. All I can think about is the double-decker cheeseburger from McDonald's. I really need it. If that sounds familiar to you, then chances are you craved food sometime in the past, or perhaps you do so right now. Cravings are very common. Some people crave more sweet foods like chocolate or ice cream or cookies. Other people tend to crave salty foods like chips, for example. Now, cravings are very normal, and to some point everyone experiences some kind of cravings. But what is important is how you react to the cravings. You want to have that under control, right? Now, in this session here, I want to give you some simple strategies on how to cope with food cravings. But before I go into them, I want to explain the difference between cravings and hunger, because people oftentimes confuse them and they're obviously not the same. Hunger occurs when you don't eat enough, when your body lacks calories, when your body lacks nutrients, when you don't eat for a very long time. Now, usually we say, I haven't had lunch, I'm hungry. This is not the case. Sorry to say that. Our body can survive for a long time without food. And this goes back to like hundreds of years ago when we wouldn't have food so accessible as it is today, and people would have to survive days without food. Here in Europe, we have more than enough food, and a typical person eats probably every 4 to 6 hours or so, some even more. Remember, the next time when you say you're hungry, think of when you ate the last time, and probably you come to the conclusion that you are not really hungry, that it's more like a craving for food, that you think you need to eat something because you missed lunch, which you usually have, and now for once you didn't have lunch, so you feel hungry, which is a lie, to be honest. Besides, our bodies, they have this super cool mechanism where they can store energy in forms of body fat, and your body can utilize body fat for energy whenever you're tight on energy. Now, what does that mean? Again, if we go a long time without food, let's say 24 hours, 48 hours, whatever it is, at some point, if you don't give your body energy in terms of food, yes, your body will utilize body fat, all right? And I've read this crazy number, I think it was 25,000 calories is stored in a body of a lean athlete. Now think of, a regular guy, not so lean, or even when you're a little bit obese, like there's plenty of calories your body can utilize in those situations when you haven't eaten anything. So what I want to say here is chances are that you have never been hungry in your entire life. Now, on the other hand, we have the cravings, and cravings are usually triggered by emotions. You don't really need this food, but your brain thinks you do, right? I need this cookie, I need this ice cream. I mean, you will survive, and you probably know that without those foods, but you think you need those sugary foods and you just want to have it. A very typical situation is also in a restaurant when you just had like your main dish and then they're bringing out dessert. You're already full from dinner, but of course you're going to have the dessert too, right? Because like it looks so good and you want it, and besides it's your favorite dessert, of course you're going to have it. You need it, right? You need that dessert. Other situations, very, very common. When you're bored, we tend to eat for no reason. It's not that you need the energy then. It's just like, you're bored, I'm gonna eat. Other situations, when you're super sad, perhaps your girlfriend broke up with you, or something happened in your family, or whatever it is. Maybe it's stress at work. This is also a very common one. You're super stressed and you want to eat something that makes you feel hopefully better. This brings us to strategy number 1. You need to identify what triggers your food cravings. In today's society, food is used as a form of medication. Whenever we feel a certain way, then we want to grab the chocolate and hopefully it makes us feel better, right? Think about when you craved something the last time. Maybe you were stressed, maybe you were sad. It's almost like this drug alcohol or whatever people usually use that makes them feel better. And for many people, it's just food. They want to have the chocolate and hopefully they will feel better. Usually, and unfortunately, this is not the case, because what happens if you have then like the chocolate, you feel even worse afterwards, because now you're stressed or sad, plus you have a bad conscience because now you also had a lot of sugary chocolate and probably overate, right? So doesn't work that well. But again, it's very, very common. Perhaps it's a repetitive situation. It's not always just stress. It's not always just like when you're sad. It could be a situation in which you always crave something. For me, it was a long time watching Netflix with my fiance. We would watch every single evening, and we started this unhealthy habit where we would have something sweet, like some ice cream or so. And before we noticed it, it established this habit. Every time we would Netflix, I wanted to have a sweet, and it got to the point where I couldn't watch Netflix anymore without having to have a dessert. It was super, super unhealthy. Luckily, we don't do this anymore, but it's also very common, right? Just like a situation where you usually crave something, where you feel the urge to eat like bad foods, not because your body needs it, but just like psychologically, you want it, right? You think that you feel better or it belongs to it, whatever it is. It's just like a bad habit. What I want you to do is identify those triggers. What is it that makes you want those bad foods? Is it watching Netflix with your fiance, like it was the case with me? Is it whenever you're stressed, when you have a lot of projects going on and you feel overwhelmed and you just want to have some quick sugar to hype you up? Is it when you're sad? Okay, again, when a relationship falls apart or something like that, when something happens in your family, is it then when you actually crave the sweets or the salty food? Just think about the last time that happened. And when you cannot remember or when you cannot come up with an explanation, then I really want that you start journaling, write it down whenever that happens. You need to realize in what situations do you have those cravings. Let's be honest here. When you want to stop having those cravings, when you have it under control, then it all starts with identifying what causes the cravings in the first place. Again, write it down. In which situation did you have cravings? Also write down, how did you feel once you had the chocolate or the chips? How did you feel afterwards? Did it actually help you? Did you actually feel better? Or did you feel even worse? Chances are the latter is the case. Once again, write down and figure out what causes cravings. This is like a very simple step, but it's very, very important. All right, number 2. You need to accept the feeling that causes cravings, and you need to learn how to control your action. Wouldn't it be super easy to say, well, if you have cravings whenever you're sad, well, just don't be sad, right? It would be so easy. Or, okay, you have those cravings when you're super stressed. Man, just don't get stressed in the first place. It would be super easy, right? Unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. It's not real life, and we need to be aware that those feelings, they will come up, and this is absolutely fine. Stress, sadness, happiness, if you're mad at someone, it doesn't matter. It's just like part of life. It's part of you, and you cannot avoid them. You really cannot. And by the way, you shouldn't. Okay, you cannot just be happy 24 hours. I wish I was happy all the time, but unfortunately, I'm not. I'm just like human. What you have to learn is like to acknowledge when you're in such a situation. And usually people are very good at this. They can tell when they're stressed. They can tell when they're sad or whatnot. I have to admit, for some people it's a bit more difficult than to others. Personally, I'm very conscious. I can tell when I'm not in a good mood. I can tell when I'm stressed and I feel, the urge to eat something. But this is really, really important. And it feels like I'm a psychologist right now, but it really comes down to your emotions And that is why it's so important to be aware of your feelings, right? Again, you will be sad, you will be mad, you will be bored, whatever it is. Don't think just because you know, okay, it's stress or it's the sadness that you now fixed your cravings. It doesn't work like that. It's a long time and it's a long process that goes into that to fix your cravings. But I'm telling you, it's way easier if you know the triggers and if you have like awareness, just knowing, okay, I'm now in this situation where I'm stressed and where I usually have chocolate, okay? Yeah, you need to be aware of your feelings, very important. Actually super simple again, but important. Simple but important. All right, next step, number 3, and this is now where it becomes very, very interesting. Once you identified your triggers and once you acknowledge your feelings, what you want to do is create a barrier, create some kind of space between the trigger and your reaction. Now, what do I mean by that? Usually, let's go back to my situation. The trigger, watching Netflix. Maybe, you know, it's just a situation. Watching Netflix with my fiance every evening. This is the trigger. Now, usually what we do is we would go to the kitchen, grab some cookies or grab some ice cream, whatever, go back, continue on Netflix. How can I create space there? Actually, pretty simple. I don't buy cookies in the first place. I don't buy ice cream in the first place. Now, when I have the idea of, okay, let's have something sweet when we watch Netflix, I go into the kitchen, look, where are the cookies? And I cannot find them. Now I have just one choice. I would have to go, well, dress, I would have to go out, I would have to drive to the supermarket, pay, would come back, I would lose like half an hour, and I don't like dressing up at night again anyway. So what I created there is this space, and chances are I don't want to have it. I'm not doing all this work just to get some cookies, like it's a non-brainer. No, I'm not going to do that, right? And if I ask my fiance, probably she neither, right? She's like, well, I would love to have some cookies right now, but not worth the effort. Not worth the effort. I'm not going out right now. Another situation, let's say you're stressed, you want a pizza, you're super quote-unquote hungry. Again, it's not hungry, it's just like you crave a pizza. You open the app and you want to order the pizza. Now, how do you create space there? Actually, pretty simple. What you want to do here is create a healthy habit. When I feel X, I'm gonna do Y. And how this could look like here is, whenever I open Uber Eats or any of these apps, I'm going to walk for 30 minutes first. When I come back and still feel hungry, quote unquote, then I'm going to have the pizza, that's fine. But usually, if you implement that rule, and let's say, okay, I opened the app, I wanted to order, now I'm going out for a walk, you did something for your physical health, you get fresh air, you feel already better. When you come back, your stress level is already down. Chances are you don't want to eat this chunk meal anymore. Chances are that you want something that, you know, really benefits your body and your health, something healthy, something high in protein, and the pizza, you no longer want it. See, creating a barrier helps a lot, and this goes with everything. When I was in Brazil, I would have another unhealthy habit. Whenever I would go to those family events, I would feel very uncomfortable, and I would just like eat and eat. Now, what I did back then is I implemented a rule. Whenever I have such a family meal, I go first to the gym to burn at least some calories, to make me feel better. And just by implementing this simple rule, I would go to the family event, I would feel, you know, just healthy and good, still uncomfortable. I cannot deny that, still uncomfortable, but it really helped to control then my cravings, because I already did something for my body and for my health. And now, you know, I don't want to ruin that by just like having whatever is there. So create a barrier, create space between the trigger and the action. Super important. Number 4, drink water and prepare some calories that don't contain a lot of calories. We all know the benefits of drinking a lot of water. It's crucial. That's really crucial to survive. I'm not going into all the benefits, but what it does, it also keeps your stomach full. You just don't have this feeling of being hungry because your stomach is already full. Prepare healthy food. Why is that? Relatively simple. Whenever we crave something, whenever I want the chocolate bar, if you then see a chocolate bar, then you're going to grab it. However, if there is no chocolate bar, you cannot have it, but maybe you can eat something else instead. And this is where like those healthy snacks come in. Maybe it's a protein bar. This is a favorite of mine. Wherever I go, I have just like a protein bar with me or a protein drink. And then, you know, if I feel the urge to eat or drink something, if I want something sweet, then I just take the protein bar. Obviously, fruits are a good alternative, and you can take them with you without the problem. A Diet Coke, not the healthiest, yes, but if you crave something sweet, helps me also a lot, then just grab a Diet Coke and hopefully you can satisfy this need for something sweet. Helps really, really well. It works. You wanna prepare those healthy snacks for when you actually crave something. If you rather want something salty, maybe carrots, avocado with some salt maybe, pickles, they have like 13 calories per 100 grams. They're super, super low in calories. And the thing is, you can eat a lot of them. Like I always tell my clients, when you crave foods or when you feel like you're still hungry, increase the amount of vegetables you're going to eat. You can literally eat like 1 kilo of broccoli. That's like, I don't know, 80 calories. It's like nothing. And you cannot say that you're still hungry after eating 1 kilogram of broccoli. The same with carrots or pickles. Just eat them, it's fine. They're super low in calories, fills up your stomach, so you don't want those other foods anymore. Personally, I also like to have like carbonated water. I don't know why, to me, it works a little bit better. In general, I drink almost only carbonated water. I just prefer it this way. Usually I put a little bit of lemon in there for the flavor, and this also helps a lot for cravings. You want to drink a lot of water, and you want to have some healthy alternatives whenever you crave something sweet or salty, whatever it is. You want to have some healthy food at hand whenever you feel the urge to eat something. Tip number 5, this is most important. Follow a diet that is sustainable and that you can follow without making an effort. Boom, that's everything. That's literally everything. What you don't want to do is follow a hardcore diet or follow a diet with a lot of restrictions. Let's say you're a chocolate lover. Then don't try to go 2 months without chocolate. Don't do that. Don't. You can lose body fat with eating chocolate. Surprise. If you want to have a small piece of chocolate, then have it. Have it, okay? Don't restrict yourself. Also, don't be too much in a calorie deficit. By now, you should know that you, in order to lose body fat, need to be in a calorie deficit. You need to eat a little bit less than you use or your body uses in terms of calories every single day. And as long as this is given, you will lose body fat. Now, if this deficit is too big, let's say you eat this little and you burn so much calories per day, at some point your body will actually get hungry because you're so much in a deficiency, not after a day, not after 2 days, but after 2 weeks of being in a huge surplus, your body asks for nutrients, your body will ask for calories. And if you do that, if you're in this such calorie deficit, what's going to happen is relatively easy to explain, and it's very common, right? So you go 2 months without eating sugar, without eating chocolate, you cut out all the things you love, you even, don't have any carbohydrates whatsoever, even the pasta you love, you have no cheat meals. 2 months and you just like push through, you absolutely hate it, you push through, and after some time, stressful day and you're just tired and your body tells you, okay, you need to have some energy, you need to have now some simple sugar or whatnot. And what do? And eventually give in, you have like the chocolate, and not only a little bit, but like bar after bar after bar, you end up eating 2 grams of chocolate. Next day you feel super bad. You decide, okay, this time I'm not going for 2 months, but like 4 months without sugar, and it just repeats itself. It's like a cycle that never ends. So my tip for you, if you really like a specific food, don't restrict it. Not a good idea. Also, if you're in a calorie deficit, make sure that this deficit is not too high, because again, it's just given that when you do that, your body will ask for energy. Okay, so you want to be in a deficit, but not in like a large deficit. It's not good. If you follow me for a while, then you already know what I do and what I do for my clients. It's called diet templates. It literally allows us to eat the things we like, that we also have at hand. I have clients who eat out every single day. I have clients who want to eat chocolate, that want to eat a cookie every day, and I include that into their diet templates, so don't have like these binges after 2 months. Again, we're speaking sustainability here. Fitness and health is not something that lasts only for 2 weeks or 4 weeks or even 2 months. It's something that you need to get in check for the rest of your life. And this is why it's important that you have something that is sustainable. This is why I work with diet templates. My clients, they don't need to do research. They don't need to figure out calories and, see whether they're now in a deficit or not. I do everything for them. So they literally have like a simple guide that they can follow. They know what they should eat at what time. They can be flexible and again, eat the things that they like. This is why it's so powerful. The results are phenomenal. So yeah, I can only recommend that, but this video shouldn't be an advertisement for my diet template, not at all. On the other hand, I just wanted to share those 5 simple tips how you can cope with cravings. All right, this brings me already to the end of this episode here. Hope you found my info here helpful. If this is the case, please do me a favor and give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you're interested in diet, health, nutrition, and all that, because I plan so many more valuable episodes. Watch out for them. I will keep them coming. So subscribe, hit that bell sign so you don't miss any updates. And with that being said, thanks a lot for tuning in. Thanks for your time. I appreciate you, and see you in the next one.